All right, good to have you with us this morning on the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update. I'm Jason DeRusha. Whoo, is it cold? My goodness. We like cold weather, right? But this, I don't know, it might be a little too much. Here's your forecast for today. Look forward to it getting, well, I think the high is 7. So that's going to be great. Right now it's about 17 below in the Twin Cities. How do you like that? 17 below. That stinks is what it is. Yeah. I mean, look at the whole country. I mean, at least it's not Fargo, something that I often say about life in the Twin Cities. At least it's not Fargo. The good news is that things are going to be warmer this weekend. So nice weather for Saturday. But otherwise, like, it's just really rough. Let me give you a look at the Twin Cities Metro right now. Yeah, this is our big story today for obvious reasons because it is so chilly. Saturday, it'll be up to 20, so that'll be nice. But it is going to be cold again on Sunday. So kind of get used to it, get ready for it. I'm going to take control. If we can take a live look at our traffic cameras, spinouts all over the place. This is 94 at Hamlin Avenue, in between Minneapolis and St. Paul, and this has been a real trouble spot over the last 30 minutes. So the black ice, look at the backups. They're headed into St. Paul. Not good at all. 280 has been a persistent trouble spot, and you can see kind of some of the cars that have gone sideways. It's just so cold that our bridge decks still have some residual snow on them. 2 state troopers on the scene. We were watching this traffic camera before when a car ended up sliding right into the rear of this state trooper's car. So you see a couple of troopers on the highway trying to, geez, what a mess this is. They're trying to get this minivan to turn around, but this person's like backing into traffic. But you can see on this picture just the glaze on the highway. So it's dangerous out there. Bear it in mind all day, because as you go out and about, bridge decks, ramps, it's going to be a challenge. So just be careful. We are in that super cold weather stretch, and so it's something to be aware of. Love to hear your feedback on the weather. If you want to share that in the Facebook comment, we'll check it out and share some of your thoughts coming up. The Supreme Court reviewing 2 federal policies today concerning vaccine requirements. The first one affects 100 million workers at large companies who require employees to be vaccinated or to be tested weekly. The other requires healthcare workers at certain facilities to be required to be vaccinated. So the Supreme Court looking at arguments as to whether or not this is constitutional to require people to get a vaccine to go to work, and that will start at 9 this morning. Here in Minnesota, a new testing site will open today. The governor has said he's been trying to expand testing capacity because we've seen such long lines. This is the National Guard Armory in Anoka. So they have it set up. They've hired people. They've got the National Guard that's going to help out. So that'll go online today. Another site opens up in Cottage Grove next week. They are recommending appointments. You can also order a free at-home saliva test online. And those are going to come straight to your mailbox. But we've had questions from a number of viewers, and this is a very good question to ask because these kits going in the mail, and it's 20 below zero, do they still work? Can they be damaged? And the health department says, well, these tests are supposed to be between 35 and 86 degrees. But basically, it's just collecting spit, right? Like, it's not like this isn't the rapid test where you're actually doing the test. This is the spit collector. So they suggest you warm it to room temperature before taking the test, but overall, it should be fine. Indoor mask mandates back in effect. This started last night, but in Minneapolis and St. Paul, you got to wear a mask if you're going to the grocery store or the gym or a restaurant. This affects the games this weekend, so if you're going to the Wild game at the Axe or the Vikings game at US Bank Stadium, those are part of the mandate as well, so you'll need to wear masks. As if the pandemic were not already enough, some health officials saying, well, you know what? Getting COVID's bad, getting the flu is bad. Getting them both at once has a fancy new name. Flu-rona. You don't want this. Some patients are getting that. Yep. The flu and the vid. Flu-rona. Flu-vid, I guess I didn't like. Nobody was getting the flu last year because nobody was hanging out together. But this year, it's different.
quite separate viruses, but they like to attack the same part of the body, the back of the throat, behind the nose, and down into the lungs, where they both can create serious complications.
Yeah, okay. So health officials say they're worried about it. Get vaccinated for the flu and get vaccinated for COVID is what they recommend. Let's update you on the 18-year-old who was charged in the Mall of America shooting. He will be in court today. Investigators say Khalil Wiley admitted to opening fire inside the crowded mall on New Year's Eve. Police say, here's the story. And at first they told us, okay, it seems like the people involved all knew each other. Wiley told them that there were two guys chasing him, and he shot at one he knew from a previous confrontation. The bullet hit the intended target in the leg, but it also ricocheted off a guardrail and then grazed an innocent bystander. Prosecutors say they'll seek a tougher punishment if Wiley is convicted because this all went down in the mall. Growing calls for the Hennepin County Sheriff to step down. It was radio silence on this thing for months, but after a search warrant came out about Sheriff Dave Hutchinson and his DWI, he pled guilty to it. Look what he did to the county-owned SUV in Alexandria last month. Well, after it came out that he was lying on the scene, claiming that he wasn't the driver, now you've seen this kind of move. So 5 of Hennepin County's 7 commissioners have said Hutch should resign. But they really don't have any power in this other than, putting some political pressure. The sheriff's an elected official. He's up for re-election in November. And he has previously told WCCO that he has no plans to step down. So we'll see if he sticks it out and runs for re-election. Fencing going up outside the federal courthouse in St. Paul. Right around the corner, January 20th, is when the 3 now former Minneapolis police officers accused in the murder of George Floyd, Tou Thao, Thomas Lane, J. Alexander King, they will go through the federal civil rights trial first. This will be the first federal trial we've had in the death of George Floyd, because Derek Chauvin pled guilty to the federal charges. 9 months ago, we saw the state trial, murder, manslaughter, Derek Chauvin convicted in Floyd's murder in May of 2020. Police in St. Paul looking for somebody they say shot and killed a golden retriever. It's one thing to break into a house, right? Take a look at the dog. Why, right? Police say the guy killed this dog, and they have a surveillance photo, and they say this is the person. They say he stole a gun, fine. I mean, not fine, but like you break into a house, you steal a gun, you steal thousands of dollars in silver. All right. But they say he also killed the dog. Dog's owner says, of course, he wants the shooter arrested.
Everything. I mean, I can't imagine this happening to anybody else. I mean, to lose a dog that, means pretty much everything. It's hard to explain to people who don't have dogs how much my dog meant to me. But he was just as more valuable, or just as valuable as a child.
Yeah. Police say the suspect has tattoos on both the right cheek and the hand. Anybody with information is asked to call the police in St. Paul. All right, this story, an amazing story of bravery by firefighters and also of this woman who is being chased. Here's the story into our newsroom from overnight. Police say firefighters came to the rescue of a woman who was making a run for it because a guy was chasing her. She ran to this fire station, so smart, on Blaisdell Avenue looking for help. Police say the guy didn't give up. She runs the fire station. This dude keeps following her. He's in a pickup truck. They say he rammed the pickup truck into the fire station trying to attack her. Firefighters physically put their bodies in between the truck and the woman to make sure they kept her safe. And police say they held the man there until officers showed up. Great work by the firefighters, and so smart of that woman to take refuge at the fire station. This guy was arrested. He's expected to be charged with assault, and nobody was hurt. A snowcross racer getting back ready to make a comeback. 2 years ago, racer Frank was nearly paralyzed after a dirt bike accident. 17 years old. He's from Paynesville. Heartbreaking. He lost feelings in his legs. Doctors didn't think he'd walk again. Racer starting to prove his doubters wrong. He began by moving a toe, was soon able to stand. Then he started to walk with the help of a walker. On Saturday, he'll have the help of a custom seat The former national snowcross champion will return to the track at Canterbury Park.
Have the crowd cheering, and then you racing out there, especially when you're out in front and winning, and then just going through the checkered flag at the end and just knowing that you accomplished, like, you won, and it's just one of the best feelings.
I'm super excited. I am so excited. I don't know how it's going to feel when I see him sitting on that starting line again, waiting for the green light. I don't know how I'm going to react, and I hope no cameras are on me.
Yeah, Racer was well enough to start practicing on a four-wheeler this past summer. So, he knows the path is long, but he's hoping his story inspires others who are going through what he's going through. Great story there. Bad news for the Minnesota Wild last night. The star player was just absolutely blasted last night. A Boston Bruins player checked Kirill Kaprizov into the boards in the second period. Left the game with an upper body injury. We can't show you sports highlights here on the internet, but you can find them out there on Twitter. And the coach of the Wild, Dean Evison, said that this hit, he was pretty ticked about the hit because Kirill was checked first, and then the other guy comes flying in and knocks him from behind. The coach says the injury doesn't look good, but we'll update you on that today. Less time to warm up if you're going to one of Minneapolis's outdoor ice rinks. Park Board says it's cutting back hours. Partially, this is like, it's sort of hard. You're like, what's going on here? They say part of it is COVID, where they don't want people gathering inside a warming house. You understand that. And part of it is they just don't have enough employees. Too many people are sick, on and on and on. So here are the hours. Weekdays, the warming rooms will be open from 4 to 7. Saturday and Sunday, they'll be open 1 to 5. They'll still have the lights on out there at the rinks until 9. And they're putting more outdoor benches and picnic tables, so you'll have a spot to sit down and lace up. Ice Castle's open today in New Brighton. Who wants to go to the Ice Castles, huh? Let's all pack up the car and go hang out with some ice. Sounds perfect. Embrace it. Bold North. Maybe next week. Should be in single digits at least by opening time tonight. Tickets, it's not cheap. I think we looked this up the other day. It's like $22 or something for adults. Kids are a little cheaper. You can get tickets online. All right, we have a new producer filling in. Richard, you did a great job. And he did it. I wasn't sure if you hit F11. Here, go ahead. Let's see and then hit F11. That should, on your keyboard. Yeah, look at that, huh? That was good. That's a little pro tip for you guys at home. F11 on your PC. Go full screen. We asked people, do you embrace it or do you hide indoors? Simon embraces it. This is the best weather for outdoor hockey. It's true, if you can take a breath, if you can actually breathe in. Bradley says, I'm not a big fan of the below zero temps, but grateful it's cold enough to keep the snow from melting. I'm with you there, Bradley. I do enjoy seeing the snow out there. I would posit that we could do that at 6, or 15. Simon couldn't live in the South. Love the cold. Do you love it below zero, like 15, 16 below? Lori, frozen saliva. Wonderful. Yes, indeed. Lori, thank you. Thank you, Oliver. You know me. It doesn't get more outdoorsy than DeRusha, When you think frozen tundra, who's going to be out there ice fishing? Maybe cross-country skiing? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm your guy. All right, thanks for hanging out with us on the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update. We will see you again next week.